playing the recorder.
What?
Why?
I know, it's very sad. The reason is because...
I thought this was called roommate recorder.
This is roommate recorder, but one of the most important parts of playing the recorder is being able to read music. And so that's what we're going to be working on today, okay? Does anyone in this room already know how to read music?
No.
We got a maybe from
Absolutely not.
A definitely no and a definitely no. Okay. So I want to start by giving you my little speech about why reading music is so very important. If you're in my class, you might have heard me say that music is a universal language.
Beautiful.
And learning to read music is really like learning to read a new language. When you started learning to read English, you figured out, oh, this stick and this circle go together to make the letter A, right? So that's basically what we're doing today. A lot of people are intimidated by learning to read music, but you really shouldn't be. Now, I want to start also by saying you do not have to read music to be a great musician. Do you think that there are any great musicians who can play without actually reading music?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm pretty good.
Well, and
Okay.
would be one. Other names you might know, Paul McCartney and the other members of the Beatles could not read music. And even Taylor Swift, believe it or not, cannot
can't
read
read
music.
At
No.
all?
She still can't?
Well, she said she can a little bit.
Wow, you and Taylor have something in common, Ann.
Yes.
She might be with you, yeah.
Just a little.
So those musicians and many, many, many more, they play music by ear, which means that they listen and then they play what they hear or they play the way they want it to sound. And that is a great way to play music. And we're actually going to be working on our ear training too. But reading music is so very important, and there's two main reasons why. One of the reasons is communication. So, for example, a song, if I were to sit down at the piano and want to play a Beethoven sonata, I can find from hundreds of years ago a song that he wrote, and I can play it today in the year 2020. So he's communicating with me, even though he spoke a different language than I do, and obviously we were not alive at the same time. Okay, another reason is it makes you a team player. So I'm guessing none of you were in band or strings in middle school or high school.
Nope.
Well, that's too bad. Maybe some of you guys want to be in band or strings or even choir in middle school or high school. And if you do, oh, you were in choir?
Yeah, were you?
I took chorus. That was the same thing.
Okay, did you have to read music?
I mean, I was supposed to, but I pretended.
Okay, so don't be like these people. Don't pretend, because if you can learn to read music, then you can play together as a group. You can really be a team player, right? So if you go to see a performance at the Skirmerhorn of the Nashville Symphony, the reason they can all play together and make such beautiful music is because they know how to look at the notes and play at the same time when their conductor is directing them. So it's very important to read music. It's not essential to becoming a great musician, but it is essential to passing your belts and recorder crawling. Okay? And I know that that is a goal for many of you. So if none of those things convinced you, then I'll just say it's fun and it's really not that hard. So why not? Right?
Why not?
Why not? Okay, so the system we're going to learn today was actually invented around the year 1000. Anybody do some quick math? How long ago was that?
1,020 years ago.
Ding, ding,
Wow.
ding. Math. We're going to get into music is math in another episode. But it still works today. Basically, it's just symbols that you write on lines. Okay? But before we can do that, we need to know how many letters are in the musical alphabet. So, will one of you take my glockenspiel, please? Thank you.
You did an amazing.
And can you tell us, Emily, do you see a letter A on there?
Yes.
Okay, will you read the letters in order and we're going to count them. Are you ready,
In
guys?
order from right to left? Or
Yep,
left to
just
right?
go from A this way to the right.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
All right. A,
Mm-hmm.
B, C, D, E, F, G, A.
Ah, so there were 7 letters, and then what happened? It went back to...
A.
It started over at A again. So how many letters are in the musical alphabet?
7.
7. Do you want to play them for us, Emily?
Yeah.
Just start at A.
Okay.
it goes right to A, and it starts all over again, okay? So there's only 7 letters in the music alphabet, but after it gets to the 7th, then it starts over again and again and again. So thank you very much. I'm going to ask you to each get an eraser, a marker, and a whiteboard. Please do not complain to me if your marker isn't working. Just switch it with another one.
Ooh, Kentucky Blue.
Kentucky Blue, of course. Go Cats.
Go cat.
Okay. So, and if you're watching at home, if you have a whiteboard, you could do this, or you could just do it on a piece of paper. Okay, we're gonna learn the foundation for reading music first. So the foundation is the staff. Have you ever heard the word staff before?
Mm-hmm.
What could it mean? Oh my word, you did exactly what my students do, which is show them what you did.
I
She
wrote
wrote her name. It's exactly what my students do.
Should I do that?
This is what I say. Don't waste my marker.
Oh.
Next thing I know, you're going to be drawing flowers all over.
That was actually my next move.
So please don't waste my marker. Thank you very much. Okay, so have you heard the word staff before?
Yes.
Yes.
What do you think it means? It means actually a lot of things.
Like a straight line, a stick.
Oh, like a
Like
shepherd's
a-
staff.
Okay. Like holds all of the notes together.
Interesting. Okay. The people at school always say they think of when our principal, Dr. Davis, says faculty and staff, right? So staff could mean people who work in some place. All of those are spelled the same way, but the type we're talking about today is the musical staff, which is 5 lines. So I'm going to draw 5 lines on my paper right here. They're horizontal and they're pretty long. So try to make them take up all of your board. Go ahead and do that. Make sure there's some space in between them. Oh wow, you guys are really good at drawing straight lines. Okay. So when we count the lines, we always count from the bottom up. And that might seem not important to you, but it is important. So we're going to put the numbers on the side of the line. So right next to the bottom line, I want you to write number 1. Then 2, then 3, 4, 5. How many lines are there? 5. Thank you. Okay, now on the other side, we're going to draw in the numbers for the spaces. This is very important. So there's 5 lines. Before we start, how many spaces do you think there would be?
4.
4. You're right. So once again, we're going to start at the bottom, and we're going to put a 1 in space 1. Now, do you see how I put that in between the 2 lines? That's very, very important. Thank you. And then you can keep going up. 2, 3, 4. So how many spaces are there?
4.
4 spaces, 5 lines. Now you can keep going up and down as far as you want, but we're going to focus on these 5 lines and 4 spaces today. Cool?
Cool.
Okay, next thing we need is a treble clef. Now, if you play another instrument like the piano, you might know that there are other clefs, like there's a bass clef that plays lower notes, but the recorder does not play low notes, so we don't need to worry about the bass clef today. Yeah, we're just going to worry about the treble clef. Now, this is a little bit harder to draw than 5 lines. Would you like to try it?
Yes.
Maybe do a practice in the corner somewhere before
Okay.
you do it, okay?
Okay.
So for your practice, I'll just show you right up here. You're going to do first a tall J.
A tall J.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Yeah.
That wasn't checking phone.
And then you're going to go to the right and do like a half circle. So now it kind of looks like a lowercase p. So that's the good thing about an eraser. You can just erase it and try again. And then you really don't lift your pencil up. You just keep going to the other side. So we got half circle to the right, half circle to the left, okay? And then we curve around the middle line. We do a little swirl.
Okay.
Now, don't get crazy with the swirl. A lot of people like to just swirl
She's
on
cute.
and on and on. Yeah, that's very nice. Show the camera what you came up with.
This is my little guy.
Good, Emily?
Mine's not right.
I erased
No,
mine.
that's nice.
It's
Oh,
not.
and Anne's not ready to share hers. Okay.
I already
That's, you don't have to
erased
share it.
Okay.
So
I'm
just
gonna-
watch me do it again, and this time I'm gonna do one long. I'm gonna do it in one continuous motion. I'll do it right here. Tall J, to the right, to the left, and swirl. Ooh. Okay? It does not have to look perfect. There's only one thing that has to happen. The swirl has to go over line 2.
Mine's really slanted.
Okay? That's really important. So now I want you to watch me draw it on my paper. I'm going to start under line 1 with my little hook of my J.
Oh.
Then I'm going to go to the right
Big.
and swirl around line 2.
Oh boy.
Try it. If you mess up, then you can
Can
erase.
it go above?
Beautiful.
Okay.
Can it go what?
Whatever.
Can it go above the 5 like you have? Like it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
Totally.
I'm stressed.
I am too.
That's very nice.
Okay.
Kind of like a backwards.
That's
cursive
lovely.
S.
Show it to the camera.
Okay.
That's nice.
Show it to the camera.
Molly, show yours to the camera.
Okay.
Beautiful. Okay, so you can keep working on your treble clefs if you want. That's really the least important thing we're going to learn today. It's just kind of fun.
That was fun.
So now we have our treble clef. That tells us that the notes we're writing on these lines will be higher notes. Okay, they're the notes that we're going to play in the higher register like you would play in the recorder. That's right. Okay, so who can raise their hand and tell me what 7 letters are in the music alphabet? Ann.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
That's right. I like to sing it like this. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You could continue, but I won't. So, I'm going to show you where the A is, and then we're going to fill in all the notes going up. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The thing I want you to know before we start is that the letters go from space to line to space to line to space to line. Okay? So, we're going to break it down by lines and spaces later, but just watch and you'll understand what I mean. Okay? I'm going to start my A. Leave a little space here because we're going to have to fill this in. So put a little space, and then I want you to draw a whole note, which is basically just a circle or an oval, in the second space. And then if you have room, put an A inside of it. Or you could erase your circle and just write the letter A. Beautiful. And I think you're going to run out of space.
Yeah, I do too.
You might just make them smaller. I don't know.
Just make your circle.
We'll see what happens. Okay,
touch
so my next... Oh, she's starting over. Okay, that's all right. So my next note, I'm going to keep going. My next note is going to be on a space or a line?
Line.
Line. It's going to be on line 3. Now, the way I know it's on a line, you guys, is that there's a line going right through the middle of it. So go ahead and draw yours on line 3. And then what letter do you think I should write there?
B.
Correct. All right. Next note, line or space?
Space.
Space.
Thank you. And what note should I write?
C.
Very good. Next note, line or space?
Line.
What note should I write?
D.
D. Thank you. They're so good at their alphabet. The next note, line or space?
Space.
Thank you. And what letter?
E.
E. Next note, line or space?
Line.
Line. What letter should I write?
F.
F. Thank you. Now, as you can tell, we've reached line
5.
5. Okay? Just so that we can get all the way through the alphabet, I'm going to show you, and I want you to write this too. On top of line 5, watch. It's kind of in a space. It's just that there's not a line above it. That's a G. So go ahead and write that one in. Okay, so
A little wonky.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We have the alphabet. Isn't that beautiful?
It's beautiful.
But there's 2 lines and 1 space that we haven't done yet. So we're going to have to go backwards.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to put a circle right here on the second line. Who thinks they know what letter I should write there? Raise your hand if you have a guess. If you get it wrong,
But we
that's
don't
okay.
go backwards.
Molly, what's your guess?
Is it a G?
G is correct.
Wow.
Now, I heard somebody say G is up here. That is a very good point. Think about this. On the glockenspiel, I have 2 G's. I have a low G and a high G, right? They're both G. That's called an octave. Okay? So they're both G's. It's just that they're an octave apart. Okay? If you don't totally understand that, that's okay. So now we're going backwards. I'm going to put my circle here in this first space. And what letter am I going to write?
F.
F. Beautiful. We're thinking backwards now. And then I'm going to put one more on the bottom line. And what letter should I write there?
E.
E. Okay. If I kept going down, I could take it all the way back to A, but we're going to just leave it at E for now. So we have E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now, you guys, do you remember what the first song you're going to be doing on Recorder Karate is?
Hot cross buns.
Correct. So Hot Cross Buns only uses 3 notes, B, A, and G. And actually the first 3 Recorder Karate songs only use B, A, and G, but we're going to learn all of them for today. Okay? So, erase your board. I'm sorry, it really does look beautiful.
I'm just going to show the crowd one more time.
Okay?
So proud.
So let's say you're trying to read a piece of music. Do you want to have to go, okay, I'm looking at this letter, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Oh, that's an E every single time.
No.
Do you want to have to count up every single time?
No.
No, that would take a long time, right? So this is how the tricks were invented. And the tricks are broken down by lines and spaces. Are you ready for the tricks?
Ready.
Okay. So first I want to just look at the space notes. And when you have figured out what those letters spell, I want you to raise your hand. Emily.
Face.
Yes! Everybody say face in the space.
Face in the space.
Oh, I like that, Molly. Or you could go like this.
Yeah.
Then it's kind of like the 2 lines.
Face in the
Wow, you just invented something. Face in the space. Okay, so if you're looking at a space note, you can use the trick face. F-A-C-E. So if all these letters were disappeared, right, I could count up F-A-C and know that that note right there is an E. Every single time. The top space is an E. Okay? So the first trick is, I want you to write this on your paper. Face in the space. And I want you to put face in all caps. F-A-C-E in the space.
Do you want us to draw the lines again or just the trick?
It's up to you. Whatever you want to do.
My handwriting's uppercase.
My handwriting is uppercase as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as long as you understand, that's all that matters.
I'll change for you.
I'll change it. It's my elementary school handwriting.
Marker really brings it out in you. Okay. So now we need another trick. This is only for the spaces. And you know what? I'll write space trick over here. Now we need a line trick. So when you can figure out what the line spell, please raise your hand. Please raise your hand. And very nice. It spells Egbedif. Now, can anybody use Egbedif in a sentence?
Every grade.
Okay, so that was not what I'm asking, but you led me to the next point. Egbedif is not a word, and it doesn't really make sense with the letters that are in order. So, we don't use a word for the line trick, we use an acronym. We use a sentence. So, the one that I use in class is every good boy does fine. Everybody say that, please.
Every good boy does fine.
This time you want to capitalize every first letter of the word. Every good boy does fine. Now, the fun thing about an acronym is it really doesn't matter what words you use, you can make up your own. So, for example, I think it was Henry Isaacs who invented every good boy drives Ferraris.
Ooh.
Right?
Ooh.
Or I can't remember who invented this one, but it was Every girl believes dragons fly. Okay, so take 1 second and think of your own. And you guys think of one at home too. What could you do? Anybody have one yet? I love your creating face.
I really can't get past the every good something.
Well, you can use that. You can start with that. I'll give you some other ideas. Every Gerber baby dribbles food. I didn't make that up. Someone else did. Or
Every gator bites down in Florida.
see, you cannot use the word in. But you could say every gator bites down fast. Or first.
Fierce.
Sure. You just cannot add in extra words because that's going to confuse you.
Confusing.
Don't do it. Don't do it. You got one,
Well,
Molly?
No, I don't.
Elvis's guitar broke down Friday.
Another classic. Elvis's guitar broke down Friday. Okay? So, let's do the same thing that we did earlier. If I'm looking for this note right here, I'm going to start at the bottom and I'm going to say the acronym going up. So, I'm going to go, every good boy does fine. Now, I know fine starts with an F, so for that note, I'm going to play an F. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so I've got my tricks up here. I want you to erase your board again, and it's time for a quiz.
Oh gosh.
Don't draw a staff. Don't draw a staff.
Just draw lines.
Don't draw anything.
Okay.
The lines are the staff,
Oh, yeah.
if you remember.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm going to draw another staff down here, but don't draw this. You guys are doing really well so far.
Okay.
But now it's time to see if we really know it or if we were just being polite listeners. What do you guys think?
Could go either
Is there
way.
an in between?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my treble clef. Here's my staff with my 5 lines. I'm going to draw a note on this staff. And then you are going to ask yourself these questions. Are you ready?
Ready.
Think this in your head. First, is it a line or a space?
Is it a line? Oh, we're not repeating.
Say it if you want. Repeat it. Yes. Is it a line or a space?
Is it a line or a space?
That is the first question you have to ask. Why do you need to ask that question first?
So you can use your trick.
Yeah, so you know that's the next question. What trick should I use? If it's a line, what trick will you use?
Every good boy does fine.
Thank you. If it's a space, what trick will you use?
Space. In the space.
So you go F-A-C-E. Okay? So I am going to write a note. You're going to quietly think about it in your head. You're going to write your answer, and then you're going to show your answer to the camera once you
Don't
have
cheat.
it. Do not peek. No
peeking.
cheating.
No peeking.
Okay. Here is your first note. Very nice. B is the correct answer. Give yourself a round of applause. Wow. Okay. So erase. Anne, will you tell me, how did you know that that was a B?
Because every good
No,
boy,
first you ask yourself. I want you to say, first I ask myself what? Is it
a line or a space?
Thank you. And which one was it? A line.
And then I counted from the bottom with every good boy.
And then you can just stop there. Yeah, it's a B. Beautiful. All right, you ready for your next one?
Yeah.
You're doing really well so far. Okay, here's your next one. I hope you're doing this at home as well. E is the correct answer. Very nice. Emily, how did you get the answer E?
Well, I asked myself, is it a space or a line?
Uh-huh.
We are in a space.
Yes.
So I put the face in and
Mhm.
F-A-C-E.
F-A-C-E. Beautiful. Okay. next one. The grade that you're all going to make on this assignment. A! Very nice! Molly, can you tell me how you got A for your answer?
Yes, I did. Is it a line or a space? And then I said, it's a space, so I gotta find my face. F-A, and then I stopped.
It's a space, so I gotta find my face. That's cool. Okay. Let's do one more. Okay. D is correct. Very nice. We looked at it. We said, is it a space or a line? It's got a line going through it, so it's a line. Every good boy does. That's a D. Now, for a bonus question, who could tell me what word that spells? Write it on your.
Okay.
Actually, write on your board.
I feel like you had to be so bad.
We're not comparing ourselves to anyone else. It's all about your own personal journey.
This feels very slow though.
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
It's okay. I kind of read music.
She
Oh,
reads
she
music
kinda
she's
reads-
like Taylor Swift level. Bead is correct. So look at my marker. You read notes in the same order that you would if you were reading a word, left to right. So if I take my marker, I'm going to read B, then E, then A, then D, and that spells the word bead. Okay?
Okay.
You want to do one more challenge?
Yes.
Okay, this time draw your staff. And you can draw a treble clef or not. It's all right. Okay. So now I'm going to tell you a word and I want you to try to spell it.
Okay.
Okay? So this is backwards of what we did, right? So if I say, okay, the first letter is B, you think, okay, what trick has a B in it? Face. F-A-C-E. Does that have a B in it?
No.
No.
So
So
it's on the line.
it must be on a line, every good boy.
Mhm.
Okay? So the word I want you to spell is deaf. And do you spell the word deaf D-E-A-F? I'll put it here in case you forget. And that's correct. You can put yours down. Yeah, very nice. It confused me. It confused me that you didn't have the treble clef. That is right. It took me a second. Don't erase yours yet. Very nice. Okay, everybody hold theirs up and show the camera. And
I will say, never mind.
so I noticed something that's different from Anne's and Emily and Molly's, and yet I said they were both correct. So look at each other's and see what's the difference.
The spacing?
No?
Oh, wait. What is wrong?
It's
Oh.
not wrong. There's
Oh.
nothing wrong. There's something different.
She has the thing. The treble clef.
Nope,
No,
something different.
Molly used the top line.
What do you mean?
The top line and the bottom both have F's.
That's
Oh!
correct. So for the letter F, there are actually two right answers. You could
Okay.
put it on the space 1,
Wow.
or you could put it on line 5. Now, actually, there's another letter that there's two of.
E.
E. But you all put your E where?
On the line. The fourth line.
Not the fourth line.
Sorry, that's the D.
Space.
The fourth space.
The fourth space. They all put their E right here on the fourth space, but where else could you have put it if you wanted?
On the first line.
You could have put it on the first line.
Didn't even cross my mind if I'm being honest.
Okay? So either way is correct. The only difference is, let me play it for you. So, will you hold yours up for me again? Emily's would sound like this. D-E-A-F. and ands would sound like this. It does sound different, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So it matters where on the staff it goes. If it's the high F or the low F, the high E or the low E. But they're technically both correct. Okay?
Wow.
So I am so proud of you. I thought you did a wonderful job today. And I hope you'll continue practicing, because most things I would say, oh, it doesn't matter how fast or slow you do it as long as you get it right. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Like, let's say we're reading a book. I'm not going to say you have to be able to read this so fast. But with music, actually, the faster you can do it, the better it's going to be. And the reason is because if this is your steady beat, 1, 2, here we go. B, A, G. You got to be ready to stay on the steady beat. So one way you can practice this is by quizzing yourself at home or having someone else quiz you. Or you can use one of the resources on my website. So I'm going to put in the description below a link to my website that has really fun games for you to quickly test your knowledge of what letter the note is supposed to be. And that's going to prepare you for when you're ready to play it on the recorder. Okay? So,
Yay.
good job. I'm proud of you. And we'll see you next time on Roommate Recorder.
Bye, friends.
Bye.
Roommate Recorder.
That was not very good. I got squeaky.